Greetings, online investors, and welcome to another Investor Roadshow presentation from the Online Investment Conference. I'm Peter Norman, founder of the OIC, where our goal is providing you with investment ideas worth watching. We've got another great idea to present to you today. Phenom Resources has a 100% interest in the Carlin Gold-Vanadium Project, located in Elko County, 6 miles south from the town of Carlin, Nevada, and Highway I80, which hosts the Carlin Vanadium deposit, North America's largest, highest grade primary vanadium resource. Paul Cowley is CEO of Phenom Resources and joins us here today to present the story. Welcome, Paul.
Peter, great to be with you. Thanks very much, and to your viewers. So Paul Cowley, President and CEO of Phenom Resources, a very, very strong story. We want to get this out to more and more investors because we believe it resonates with a lot of people. So Phenom is a growing Nevada-focused Tier 1 gold explorer, but also a green energy explorer and a technology company. And we have an extraordinarily accomplished senior, which is an extraordinary passion for refining and developing resources. Let me tell you why Phenom is so unique and why the story is so strong. We have both vanadium, which is a green energy metal, and gold in our portfolio. We have 101 million shares. We're traded on the Toronto Venture Exchange and also in the US on the OTCQX. The headquarters in Vancouver, Canada, but also office in Elko, Nevada. Roughly 40% American shareholders, 55% Canadian shareholders. We've got some outstanding shareholders in our base. Rob McEwen owns 5% of our company. Eric Mushinsky is a letter writer. He owns almost 10% of the company. As I said, we're focused in Nevada. We have been here for 6-7 years now. It's a great jurisdiction, so easy to explore. I've worked around the world. This is a dream come true when it comes to what's available to you, the infrastructure, safety, the security of title, security in the field. It's just phenomenal. You know, we've got, as I mentioned, we're a driven Canadian and American professional men and women group of technical people that are driven to advance our vanadium project, our resource, as well as to discover gold opportunities in one of the most prolific areas in the world. As Peter mentioned, we have 100% interest in our Carlin Vanadium project. This is a really, really unique situation where there's actually two systems, one over top of the other. The vanadium is a green energy metal. I'll be explaining that a little bit more in the talk, but that's at surface and it's an open pitable situation. And below that is a gold system, the Carlin gold system. And we've gone through a preliminary economic assessment with this project. And interestingly enough, we also have an offtake agreement with a Japanese battery manufacturer. We've got a 5% interest in their developing solid-state vanadium battery. And I'll talk a little bit more about that because that's an extraordinarily good opportunity for value added for our shareholders. We've also developed in the last year a very, very good portfolio of select gold projects. The King Solomon, Dobbin, and Crescent Valley. These are all acquisitions in the last year. They've all been handpicked by someone that you may know about. Dave Mathewson is an extraordinarily well-known and accomplished gold mine finder in Nevada. So these projects are regional scale, big opportunities. And that's all we're really, really interested in, is something that's going to have big impact for us. So our near-term goal is to make a Carlin-type gold discovery through Dave's guidance. He's on our board as well as a technical advisor. But in the midterm, we also want to become a vanadium producer with our very, very strategic vanadium deposit that sits in Nevada. A little bit more about our company structure. You can see that we've got 101 million shares. We're trading actually today, we're at about 50 cents. You can see our enterprise value. You can also see on the right-hand side our stock performance. We're on the way up. We're a growing company. We've got a lot of triggers and material opportunities that we're working on that we feel are going to come to fruition this year. So people are recognizing that the gold market is one of those aspects. That's why we've filled out our portfolio with extraordinarily good gold, as well as we have some other things that I'll be talking about. I mentioned that our people, extraordinarily good team. people really, the big investors are really investing in management and a team. This is one that they can rely on. These are all people that are professional engineers and geologists, have worked for major mining companies before on major projects for them, know how to advance projects forward. And so we all have in excess of 40 years experience in the industry. So very reliable technical people that we see value early on projects and know how to advance it in a cost-effective way. Just as an element, I can talk a lot more about our group, but just as an example of the quality of people that we have, you have myself and Dave Matthewson. We're geologists. We've been accomplished in finding gold deposits. 10 in total, collectively, between Dave and myself. We've been involved in discovery of gold deposits around the world. Dave, obviously, being more important in Nevada because all of his discoveries have been in Nevada and very close to our Carlin Vanadium project. So you're getting management that's accomplished and serious and love what they're doing. They're passionate about what they're doing, and they've got a track record. And we're still in the business to make those discoveries for our shareholders. The opportunity, as I mentioned, we've got a green energy department or a section within it that's part of this green energy, the vanadium side. We also have this gold opportunity with our portfolio. So either one, I think both are growing. And I think our plan is, because of the market being that much more buoyant and our share position, shares price increasing, that the context is getting better and better for us to aim towards splitting these two companies, a vanadium and a spin-out gold company that will be dividend to Phenom shareholders. I think this could very, very well happen before the end of the year. So that's another kind of opportunity that we see that's offered to our shareholders, is that potential spin-out. I'll talk a little bit about vanadium, but it's really about getting early on a trend that is no doubt in everybody's mind happening. And vanadium is an extraordinarily interesting metal and a sustainable metal, where in a chemistry of the two main storage battery types that are prevalent, the lithium ion battery and the vanadium redox flow battery. The vanadium redox flow battery is very much alive, getting commercialized and growing. And this market is going to be huge. And it's starting now. I've got some graphs that can show, but this is something that is people that recognize the opportunity of vanadium moving forward and taking an important role in green energy space. They're getting in early, and we think that there's an extraordinary upside, a good upside for vanadium in the future. And because we have this very strategic project in the United States, and because the U.S. is concerned that it doesn't have some of these critical metals like vanadium, they have to rely on countries like Russia and China to get these critical metals. We're a perfect scenario for people to invest in a green energy battery supply chain opportunity. That's what this is for us. These are some of just to show that vanadium redox flow batteries are being deployed and commercialized. These are some, a lot are happening in China. They saw the opportunity earlier on for the benefits of the vanadium battery over the lithium battery. China is investing very heavily in that sector as well as an alternative to lithium battery. But they're also happening in Japan, Africa, UK, in the US, in California, in Korea, in Japan. It is just the early stages of this uptick that we're going to see here. And this is a graph that Guidehouse Insights put out about their prediction of the deployment or the rollout of vanadium redox flow batteries around the world. This is already shown to be conservative. We see that in 2023 that there's over 5 megawatts of projects that are going out. So the 5,000 would on this graph on the left-hand side would be the equivalent of 5 megawatts. China wants by 2030 wants to have 180 gigawatts and India 100 gigawatts. Those are just two countries alone. Obviously, they're massive countries, but that would alone, those two countries would be 5 times what's being predicted in this graph. So there's enormous opportunity for growth, even in this decade alone. And again, it's getting in early, seeing the opportunity early. Some of the features of the vanadium battery, if you're not familiar, is it's extraordinary in that vanadium, once it's put in these batteries, it actually doesn't degrade as lithium does. It doesn't degrade with the repeated charges and discharges. So once it's in the battery, in the electrolyte in the battery, it will last in excess of 25 years, decades basically, and it won't deteriorate. So it actually can be repurposed in newer vanadium batteries a decade out or 2 decades out. And another feature, so it's a very sustainable metal in that respect. It's around for a long time and usable for a long time once you've got concentrated it. And another very important feature is that it's non-flammable. And we've seen a lot of cases of fires in lithium battery cars, scooters, large storage areas. Very, very dangerous. These lithium fires just do not stop. They burn and burn and burn until the fuel is out, and it can last for days. Very, very extraordinary. These are some of the cases of just some pictures. Very, very scary. Vanadium doesn't have that issue. And it has other features. The vanadium battery, it charges more instead of like a 3 or 4 hour charge that the lithium battery has. The vanadium battery charges 8 to 10 hours. It's a deeper charging battery. It's just a better performing battery, and it's going to catch up in that large capacity battery market, which is going to be growing and growing this decade and into the next and beyond, as we get more and more, as we draw more and more energy from the sun and wind and other forms. That's a little bit of a capsule of the vanadium side. On our gold side, I'd like to talk a little bit about the vanadium project, our main flagship, but also the other gold projects, because we have a very select portfolio in gold and growing, and we're convinced that we're going to be making discoveries. This is a location map of our Carlin project. There's our project right in here, I-80 along here. This is a very famous gold trend. So we're actually in an area where Newmont and Barrick became mega companies, and over the last 40 years. So that infrastructure that they developed in the Elko and Carlin area are at our disposal now. We're 6 miles away from I-80 and power and these communities and all the vendors and suppliers of the industry. So as I say, it's a dream to explore in this area for safety and availability of services and products. This is what the area, the landscape looks like. It's a high desert plain. The vanadium lies in this valley, very near surface, and it would be basically an open pit in this valley. It comes to surface and in the top 200 feet from surface. So it's a very, very simple mining situation. We can our metallurgical flow sheet. We have a patent on that. We can get 80% of the vanadium out of this rock. Peter mentioned it's the largest, highest grade primary vanadium resource in North America here. And the resource that we've defined was back in 2019. We've done further drilling, and we know that and we have expanded the outside dimensions of that deposit, and there's still more opportunity for further expansion. We did a preliminary economic assessment in 2020. This would be like a 20-year project life, but it only uses about 60% of that resource. So as vanadium prices increase, we believe that this could be a 20, 30, 40-year mine life and be able to get the lower grades of vanadium that are available. And it would be in a very cost-effective operating cost. I know there's a lot of information here, but I'm just trying to hit the highlights. This is a graph of all the vanadium producers around the world and how much it costs for them to produce a pound of V2O5 or vanadium pentoxide. And we're sitting in the lower quartile compared to all these higher cost producers. That gives us a great advantage, competitive advantage, and to be operating at a lower cost than all these other producers around the world. A lot of them are in China and are higher cost. I'm going to shift to the gold side. This is a map of Nevada and some of these extraordinarily amazing gold producing areas that have mines that have been operating for decades. Carlin Gold Trend is in here, which is over 100 million ounces of gold have been produced. Our Carlin Vanadium Project is in there. Our Crescent Valley is a valley project, is a bonanza vein type deposit that's on the edges of the Carlin Trend. And we've got two other ones that we picked up here that are very, very good. These are ones Dave Mathewson handpicked, Dobbin and King Solomon. These are in the right rocks, the right signature of these large Carlin type gold signatures and systems. This is a picture of the southern part of the Carlin Gold Trend, and our property is right here. All of these red splotches here are past producing gold mines or deposits. There's about 9 million ounces of gold in that area there. And we're sitting on one of these trends, these north-south trends that are very typical of the Carlin Trend. And we've already defined a gold system there. We haven't yet developed a resource, but we're getting very close to making a discovery there. But you can see that we're in a very prolific part of the Carlin Trend. We've done drilling, this is closer into the claims. We've done geophysics that define this plume of a system, and we've done drilling in here, and we're seeing very good signatures. This would be a deeper type of deposit, 1,500 feet to 2,000 foot, still within a medium range of depth that we're seeing the gold system expressed. And we're getting closer and closer to what we believe is a pipe or a breccia pipe for a discovery. The Dobbin gold acquisition was just last September. It's an extraordinary good one as well in Nevada. This is earlier stage, but what's extraordinary about this is Dave Mathewson found this area in the late 80s and for Newmont and wanted to explore it, but there was a wilderness study area that was put on the over top of the claims after the claims were actually established, and Dave had found this anomaly. Newmont said, no, we're not going to fight the feds on this. Dave said, well, this is such an extraordinary opportunity here. Quit claim the project to me, and I'll quit Newmont because this is such an extraordinary good one. He found this soil anomaly of 1 to 3 grams of gold on surface in the right rocks that Dave loves to see. This Roberts Mountains Formation is a carbonate unit that's one of the best, if not the best, host of gold in Nevada and prolific. So this is a very, very good one. We've got field geologists working there, expanding this anomaly, sampling away. So this one will be looking to drill later on in the year. Then we've got the King Solomon. This is an acquisition that we just made this month, late May. This is another very good one. This is the one that Dave had identified and been following for a couple of decades. We finally had an opportunity. It was a timely connection with the vendors, and we acquired it for a very reasonable price. It's got some drilling on it, but all that drilling has been done in the wrong place. In this upper part of this cap of volcanics, which in the top sort of 200 feet, that sits on top of the limestone compartment, the carbonates that are the real target. Everybody's been focusing this shallow drilling in the volcanics above, and there are good gold grade intercepts in that, but that's where everybody focused. And this was all drilling done in the 80s and 90s when people were looking only for open pit situations and needed higher grade. We see some very, very good lengths of intercepts, 60, 80 meter intercepts of half a gram to almost a gram. And there were some holes that even ended in a gram of gold that need to be just drilled deeper. The carbonates are really, the volcanics are like a halo over a very large gold system. And this gold system is literally at least 2 miles by 2 miles square. And so there's a lot of opportunity. Dave had in our news release about this, he said that he's convinced that there's one or more gold deposits that can be discovered on this King Solomon project. So we've got outstanding projects, and all for big opportunities for our shareholders. Crescent Valley is another one. It's not the Carlin type, but it's a bonanza type, high-grade gold opportunity, big quartz veins, one of the biggest gold vein system in Nevada. It's got the look of a sleeper type of deposit, which was one of the richest, lowest cost producers in Nevada in 1988. And we're planning on doing drilling on that one. So we've got some really good targets here. So just to wrap up, Phenom has is a really very strong technical group. It's a very strong growth story. There's many catalysts that we're working on that we believe are going to be significant for us this year. Some of them being we've actually applied for a grant with the Department of Energy for $300 million to help us advance our our vanadium project. We've got this relationship with a Japanese battery manufacturer. They're advancing their to production their battery, and we own 5% undiluted of their interest. There'll probably be a news release out here in a month or so about their increased valuation coming out for our shareholders. We've also, on the gold side, expanded our very selectively high quality gold, big gold opportunities that's being guided by someone who's found many gold deposits in Nevada. So there'll be drilling of these projects and potential discoveries, news information flowing through the summer and the fall, and then also the opportunity for the gold spin-out potentially before the end of the year. So lots and lots of opportunities for our shareholders for our growth of our company going forward. And you can see that in our share price increase that showed earlier, people recognize that. This story needs to get out to more and more investors.
Paul, great presentation. It seems like Phenom Resources has people, projects, and purpose, and that's always a triple combination that makes for a successful venture. So let's dive into a few questions here. The company's now called Phenom Resources, but you were first Vanadium. Why the name change?
Well, we realized that between 2017 and 2000, we were strictly focused on our vanadium project and growing that, drilling it, getting resource, getting the PEA. But we also realized that Nevada's got an extraordinary opportunity for gold discovery. And that's when we found met Dave Mathewson, and he came on our group and recognized that there was an opportunity underneath the vanadium resource. So this has been an evolution where we're focused on vanadium, but we're also focused on gold. So there's more than just vanadium. We didn't want to get pigeonholed on vanadium alone.
How did you come to develop the project in Nevada? Was it brought to you, or did you go looking for it?
Yeah, well, we were looking for a significant opportunity, and it was brought to us by friends of ours. We saw the extraordinary opportunity at a very critical time, just before vanadium prices took off. I didn't really know very much about vanadium, but I was willing to learn, and I've found by working through many different types of commodities around the world, there's a lot of commonality on how you explore deposits. You got to understand the model, or how the minerals got there, and each model is a little bit different. But how you explore, how you make good decisions, how you spend your money, the steps of exploration, there's a commonality there, and I think that that's something that's imported and can be used. And so, yeah, we saw this opportunity at the perfect time when vanadium was just starting to rise. In 2018, it went up from $6 a pound up to $32 a pound on a particular Chinese storyline. But and with that money and with our successes, we ended up getting up to $2 a share. because of that. And because we were serious explorers, we were drilling and infilling and developing a resource that was going to be significant. We knew it was going to be significant and meaningful.
When you think of a lithium battery, you think of a lot of lithium in that battery. The battery always has sort of a white sort of color. Is vanadium used in the same way? Is all of a vanadium battery vanadium, or are there other elements mixed in with it?
So the lithium battery is it's not just lithium. It's obviously one component. That's what we usually, it's referred to as a lithium ion battery. But there's also copper, cobalt, nickel, graphite in that, which actually, that becomes in one way, a vulnerability of the lithium battery, because if there's shortages in any of those metals, which we have been hearing about, that kind of supply line of growing that lithium battery market from this decade and beyond, there's going to be shortages of some of these metals. And if you've got a shortage of one of your metal components of your battery, that's going to be a vulnerability of that battery. In the vanadium, it's only vanadium. It's vanadium, high concentration of vanadium in an electrolyte. And that's the reason why it doesn't degrade. In lithium batteries, all those metals end up over time with the charging and discharging, they end up crystallizing the metals together. So there's less and less ions of the various sorts of metals within it that start to drop out. And that's why lithium batteries, over time, they end up needing to be thrown away after, in the case of these large battery operations, after 6, 7, 8 years, they got to throw them away into contaminated sites and buy a new one. Vanadium batteries, you don't have to do that. It's going to keep on running. It's like the ever-ready battery model here, really, but for vanadium. It just keeps on going.
How much potential vanadium is there to be mined compared to the lithium there is out there to be mined?
There's a lot of lithium in the world, and there's a lot of vanadium in the world. Obviously, finding areas that have high concentrations of these metals in one area then become a deposit. And it's really an economic situation. So as the price of that metal increases through demand, then the economics become more interesting and viable for lower grade types of deposits. So over time, the good stuff gets mined out, the low hanging fruit gets mined out, and just as in big copper mines, there's more to be had when the price of copper, say, goes up. They can mine lower grade, and that's the same case with lithium and vanadium. There's a lot of both metals out there, but the concentrations that are critical and that can move forward economically are selective.
I see you've already got a business development officer on the team. Is that a strategic decision?
Absolutely, yeah. We're always seeing new opportunities, and it comes from our vast experience in the industry, our networks of people, and so yeah, this particular person is Doug Dreisinger. He's brought several projects to us, which we are in the process of looking to acquire. So I mean, he's already shown his worth, and combined with the opportunities that he brings and the technical people that can evaluate it for its economic viability. So this is the thing, is that we're not your average explorer that look to get a quick intercept or whatnot. We are looking for projects that have viability to for wealth creation and deposits and of economic viability. And so we have that full range of people within our organization for construction and operations of mines. We've got an engineer who's very experienced general manager of major mines for Barrick and others. So we've got high-level senior people in operations, in metallurgical. We've got 5 metallurgical people, all extraordinary. There's two of our metallurgists have their own. One has 13 patents on his own, and another has 33 patents on his own. We've got 3 of now within Phenom. So we've got an extraordinarily good technological and technical team to evaluate projects and opportunities, and we're always looking for those opportunities for our company, and that's why I think people see the growth opportunity for Phenom.
So you just announced a financing a few days ago. How long do you think it'll be before that closes, and how long will that cash last you?
Well, we're moving along very, very well. Expect it to close Tuesday of next week. So that's literally just over a week to raise $1.2 million. And it's going to be in good hands. We're always very, very careful in where those funds go. So they're going to be in big investors' hands.
All right. Well, that concludes our question period and our presentation for today. And Paul, before we bring this session to a close, for your final remarks, why not summarize for investors why they should invest in Phenom Resources?
Well, thanks very much, Peter. Yeah, this is a growing company. People recognize that there's a team here that's dedicated. They love what they're doing. We're in the right jurisdiction for value added. We're looking for new opportunities all the time in vanadium and gold. We're looking for other unique opportunities in the vanadium side. We've got extraordinarily successful people that have found gold deposits. We've strengthened our gold portfolio in the last 12 months significantly. We've applied for U.S. grant opportunities because we see that vanadium as a supply line for vanadium batteries there's a real gap in that. People have to rely on buying that product from China and Russia. We're also moving on this financing that we're doing. We'll go into the drilling, the surface work on those gold projects, into more marketing than what we've ever done before. So there's a lot of really, really positive things, these new opportunities that are kind of on their doorstep. Thanks very much, everyone, for listening to our story. If you need any more information, you can dig deeper into our website. My phone number, too, you can always call me. I'm a very reachable CEO, and I'd love to talk to potential investors and our shareholders very, very frequently. Please feel free to give me a call if you want to dig deeper.